Steph, they came galloping into office on their donkeys, saying things like, we're going to prosecute Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and Jack Smith and Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. Guess how many of them have been prosecuted, have been indicted? Zero.
And, the piece you wrote this week, Donald Trump, the anti-public servant, it goes to that point that I think, and again, it certainly is proving out in polling, and that I think there is a segment waking up going, exactly what you said. Trump will never understand the concept of public service. He's never felt the pull of wanting to dedicate himself to a cause bigger than himself. Maybe that's because he doesn't believe there is anything bigger than himself. Maybe it's because he's the malignant narcissist he appears to be. But, man, Glenn, this was a week. Taking a bribe jet, selling meme coin, dinners. Do you even want to start talking about the pardons?
Pardons,
I mean, the only barometer for someone who was unfairly prosecuted, quote unquote, is they support him. Any number of crooks this week, right?
And Steph, there's so many pardons to dislike and to talk about. Let me focus on one real quickly. The Paul Walzac pardon, because this pardon puts the lie to at least three of Donald Trump's claims. It's Donald Trump putting the lie to his own claims. This guy was a healthcare industry guy in where? South Florida, of course. He was basically stealing from nurses and healthcare workers, withholding what were supposed to be Social Security, taxes, Medicare, Medicaid. That money was supposed to be paid to the federal government. Instead, he kept it for himself for private jets. He bought a $2 million yacht. He went on expensive spending sprees to the tunes of millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he pleaded guilty because he was guilty. He committed these crimes. And Steph, right before, he was supposed to report to federal prison to begin serving a prison term and begin paying $4.4 million back to the federal government for the Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid money he stole. Donald Trump pardoned him, which not only did away with his conviction, his guilty plea. It not only helped him avoid prison, but it terminated the court order that he had to pay more than $4 million back to the United States government. What does it prove? It proves that Donald Trump does not protect Social Security. He lets his friends steal it, and then he gives them a pardon so they don't have to pay it back. It proves that he doesn't back the blue, because guess who investigated these crimes for years? The blue, the police, and law enforcement. He demeans them.
We've been talking about what whiny babies Trump and everybody in his administration is. And did he not have his mommy pay the bribe? Is this the one? He had his mommy.
$1 million to Donald Trump, and lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, her little boy, the criminal, gets pardoned and gets to keep, not pay back the $4.4 million in Social Security money he stole. Really?
Guess who pays that? Us. Right? Same thing with the Chrisleys. We pay
foot the bill.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's get to our little good news stat. Federal judge extended a temporary order blocking the Trump administration's revocation of Harvard's ability to enroll international students. Talk to us about, I just, every day I'm like, how can the government tell a private institution who, and I know your answer is always they can't, but go ahead, expound.
So Harvard is kicking Donald Trump's butt in court. And, listen, the federal government does issue student visas. So if they can find a legal way to begin either revoking or making it more difficult for students to obtain student visas to come here, of course, that will be an economy killer, and it will be a brain drain, quite frankly, and it's offensive to the notion of diversity. Okay, but you're not doing it the right way, sport. What you're doing is you're trying to take over Harvard University lawlessly, and the courts are like, you don't get to do it. But here's the thing. Harvard's kicking his butt. Law firms are kicking his butt. I mean, this guy is on an unprecedented losing streak in court. So all he can do is attack the judges, but that dog won't hunt, because we know the judges are only applying the rule of law. These are easy calls. These are not challenging legal decisions for the courts.
You posted 3 court losses for Trump in 24 hours. Judge lectures Alina Habba.
God bless you.
Thank you. About the job of a U.S. attorney. I mean, you're right. It is becoming, an unprecedented losing streak. But, as we talk about every week, we're trying to get to the compliance part, right, of losing these court things and these endless appeals.
Let him refuse to comply outright. Let him openly defy court orders, including Supreme Court orders and directives and edicts. Let him do it early and often, because that is the that is the last straw, because Donald Trump will be announcing, listen, folks, I am a legitimate president because I do not recognize our constitutional construct of government. There is no co-equal federal judicial branch of government. Even though I am required to follow those court orders, I will not. That's the moment.
Yeah.
I think everything implodes, and law enforcement can't support that. The military can't support that, because that is when he is now an illegitimate president of the United States.
So in the whiny baby, man baby stack, Dan Bongino, who has to get up at 7:30 in the morning.
To go to work.
Oh,
no.
He
Don't get me started on it. Go ahead.
He stated he's examining issues related to the origin of COVID. So they're going to investigate the COVID origin cover-up. The baggie of cocaine found several years ago that was already investigated at the White House. How, again, this is taxpayer money they're spending for this, right?
Steph, did you hear the pity party Dan Bongino threw himself?
Yes.
He said, oh my goodness, I have to sit in this office at the FBI and stare at 4 walls. And I even have to listen to Kash Patel, who goes to the gym and gets to work out during the day, but I work out in the morning before I come in and stare at these 4 walls. And this is crazy. This is driving me.
You think I make weird sounds when I work out?
Yeah.
Look at Kash Patel's eyes. That's
no idea what public service is
Exactly.
about, and you're whining
Right? You quit
about getting to serve the public in this capacity. Are you flipping kidding me?
You quit your podcast and you've been working for a few months, and you're like, nah,
I don't like it anymore.
I can't spend any time with my wife who's divorcing me. Yes, he said, this was a touching story. He said a woman came up to him and said, I guess his stupid podcast, I miss you. And I said, I miss me too.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, whiny baby.
What a snowflake.
Yeah, enough about me. What do you think about me?
Exactly.
What do you think about me and my show? Okay, so Newsmax is urging Speaker Johnson to investigate the January 6th Capitol Police. Okay, I don't know. Who? Oh, is this Greg Kelly? He said, Speaker Johnson, come on. Because nothing is too ridiculous. They suggest it on some right-wing outlet, and then they do it, right? I mean, Speaker Johnson, you said this year that you were going to establish a new select committee to continue the House Republicans' investigations into all events leading up to and after January 6th. We need another real investigation looking at the cops. We just had Harry Dunn on a few days ago. There is no low. On January 6th.
Steph, they came galloping into office on their donkeys, saying things like, we're going to prosecute Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and Jack Smith and Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. Guess how many of them have been prosecuted, have been indicted? 0. Why? Because they didn't commit crimes. This is why even the gullible are taking note at this point, and they won't prosecute those people, because if they try to walk those people into court, the federal judiciary will cram those cases, figuratively speaking, down the throats of the DOJ lawyers. DOJ lawyers who are falling one after another, because they're making Donald Trump's BS arguments in court.
I gotta say, it's just the fact that the words Biden crime family is still escaping Mike Johnson's lips, and Comer is talking about investigating and calling in Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. It's beyond the pale, particularly for a man who served this country.
Speaker of the House, pipe down.
Yeah. One last one. Missouri Supreme Court halts abortion access, defying the will of the voters. That last part is key, Glenn, to the earthquake I think is coming.
It's coming on every front, front. I mean, mark my words, he's circling the drain. He hasn't been sucked down to the drain and out to the drainage fields yet. But that's the direction he's heading, and he's desperate, and that's why he's making arguments that are more laughable and more laughable and more laughable, and they're offending wider segments of society, like Republican billionaire oligarchs. I'm telling you, they're gasping their last breath.
And when he is dragged into that drainage, Bobby Kennedy will swim in it, and that's
he will
in the poop water. Okay.
Yes,
take a big deep drink of that, Bobby.
We love you, Glenn Kirschner. Oh, hey there, it's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the movement keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.